Do you ever see a guitar on Reverb and just go, yeah, that's the one? That's my reaction to this awesome 78 Deluxe. Because just look at its majesty. It's all the things that most people probably wouldn't like about a 70s era Deluxe. You've got your mini humbuckers. It's the version that has the Nashville style bridge rather than the earlier ABR one, Kalamazoo produced one. It looks to me that somebody might have even replaced our pickguard bracket, but at least we have the very nice golden reflector knobs. And the Big Mac Daddy spec is the 3-piece top. Love it or hate it, it is a part of this era, but this one is just so gorgeous. Mainly because the Tobacco Sunburst has just aged so beautifully. Every one's going to be a little bit different depending on how much sun fading that they've had, but this one has a nice strong border, but not too strong. But underneath, the wood grain is so good, almost looks like ash in certain areas. But no, this is just a regular maple top. I do not blame you if this episode makes you go and buy this. But if you look at the headstock, you can see this thing has definitely ambered over in color. So that goes back to what we were talking about here. Every single one's gonna be a little bit different. The extra ambering over the clear coat has transformed the look of this one. And then you flip it over to the back, you can see you've got a 3-piece maple neck. That's another one of those, hey, Nashville's around, we're gonna start changing things on the Les Paul things, but you still have the mahogany body. And oh sweet, this one's actually one piece. It escaped the pancake era. But the reason why the body's slightly darker than the neck, it comes down to the mahogany and maple wood coloring. Now here's what stopped me from buying it. It's got a little bit too much wear right there in the cording area. Something's happened to the finish there. It's a little bit hard to tell, but I can zoom in here and then you guys can see. But otherwise, the tuners look original. And when you get it in the light, yeah, it's got some buckle worming, but I really wouldn't worry about that. That is just a phenomenal Deluxe. But now their price tag, $5,500. Yeah, it's high, but not all of them are gonna look that good, and you have to look at where they're located. It's the UK market. Things are a little bit more expensive over there simply because to export one of these from the United States to their country, you're gonna have anywhere between 5 and 30% duties. So even if you got a really good deal on a Deluxe, say $3,000, before you even count in shipping, there's another $1,000 onto it. And there is one more thing you need to know about it. It's marked a factory second. But what's the worst thing about a factory second from the 70s in the 2024 market? It's the second stamping itself. Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Our next one is a circa 2019 59 Flying V. I saw this in the title, Max. I was thinking, replica build? Are we talking like Slash's Max? Or are we talking something else? So I had to scroll through these photos to find out because that is really dark for a Carina Flying V. It's most likely mahogany that just had some like aging compound to it and they did a very dark ambered over finish. So it's regular 50s Flying V headstock with your gaudy Gibson badge that I love. But apparently this is a dealer's 15th anniversary, Max guitar. Dealer anniversaries have always been kind of interesting to me ever since I discovered this 1994 House of Guitars Les Paul Studio. It's got sweet inlays, ebony fretboard, it had Les Paul signing on some stuff. You can check out this episode if you happen to have missed it. Like we just recently did an all-gold Bizarre Guitars 50th anniversary Les Paul standard from the original collection. But hey, looking at the back, we've got some interesting wood grain. It's a darn shame that's not book matched because then you'd have like some sort of an interesting spooky upside down heart or something on it. But looking at that neck, that is 100% mahogany in my opinion. And cool, look at our serial number. It says Max. It's 025. And reading our description, that confirms the mahogany construction. And apparently that was just a small run of 25, and this one's the last one. Because normally a mahogany Flying V like that, it would be between 4,000 and 7,000, so it's not that much of a premium. Again, remember, you're in the UK market. But the next thing this shop listed, maybe it's just their photo style with that straight white background. It really helps these darker guitars pop. But it's a 2023 pre-owned 68 reissue custom. But something is a little bit amiss. We've got a Koa top, and it's got figuring. You don't find Koa as often in the solid body guitar world. It's more popular in the acoustics. But Gibson's had the option for quite a few years now. Looks like the gold hardware is in great shape. 68 reissue means you get the ABR1 bridge. It should have a maple top. It's got a slightly bigger neck profile. You'll have your long neck tenon, witch hat knobs, and most importantly, that ambered over finish, which pairs really well with the Koa in my opinion. Especially from this angle where you can see the mahogany underneath. It nearly looks like the same kind of wood, but that's an extra dark headstock. And when you flip over to the back, decent wood grain on the body, but that neck, that looks like it's got some flamed figuring to it. Not something you're going to be able to appreciate in a photo too much, but in person, I bet that one dances. How much are they asking on that? Whoa. 10,000. We were just talking about all golds. Here's a from 2010. That's the biggest kicker to this. All gold. So you got to remember, starting like 3 years ago, Gibson Custom Shop started to produce tons and tons and tons of custom colors to the point where they're not even special anymore. In this particular era, they weren't doing that, and finding an all gold Les Paul custom was highly irregular. But you want to know what's even more fun about this? I didn't realize it when I put this in my watch list. The TV gold means it's a translucent varnish. You can see through to the wood grain while still having the golden color. That's really fascinating. I thought it was just like some sinking wood pour, kind of like what we saw on that Bizarre Guitar anniversary. But no, this one will have a complete gloss finish. You're not going to be able to feel that most likely. But that is also continued up the neck. I feel like this model would be a very good candidate for a Stinger. And why don't we throw some Kluson waffle back tuners on there? But judging by that serial number, I think this is actually a 57 reissue, which would make complete sense because we've got the mahogany wood grain showing through on the top. And we've got our historic style plastics, really wide beveled edge guard, gold humbuckers with the ABR1 bridge. But what's throwing me off here is this had to have been refretted at some point, because we do not have fret nibs that is certainly larger than stock fret wire. And you know what? Now that I look at the nut a little bit closer, that has been redone as well. According to the seller, it started life chrome, everything was changed to gold. That makes a lot of sense for those Gibson USA style tuners now, but I'm not seeing where they're disclosing the refret. If you're shopping online for a brand new guitar and don't consider yourself an expert and want someone with more skilled eyes to look over your guitar, head on over to my website, troglysguitarshow.com. Come up here to online help and appraisals, and I am available for private bookings. And if you need an answer really fast, I also have upgrades for that too. But that one is located over in Japan, and yeah, wow, $9,500. I don't know if I would suggest paying that much for it. I feel like you'd just be better off getting a custom order from Gibson at that, if you got 6 months to 2 years to wait. But this is another one of those where your eyes just go, whoa. Love the Nordic blue finish. Everything Gibson puts out in that color just looks good. However, there's some that just look better than the rest, and this is one of those tops. This area right here in specific, they've got that whole double staining effect where you get the dark blue and the light blue, and this particular wood figuring and quilting just works incredibly well with it. But believe it or not, this is just a regular Les Paul custom. I think the baseline's around $5,500, but you got the upgraded quilted top. So if I were to guess how expensive this one might be, I would put it in the $6,500 to $7,000 brand new range. Makes you kind of wish you had a maple neck on this one with similar flamage, but hey, whatever. This is just a phenomenal piece. But they're also open to offers if you want to add that one to your collection. It is brand new. Our last one tonight for really expensive, strange custom colors is this. $10,420. Offered by 6060 Sounds in the UK. Yeah, let's take a look at it. It's shell pink. You don't see many shell pink customs, so I think that's kind of the draw factor of this one, that it's extra unique. But there's kind of a fine line between being unique and so unique that you stray too far from the general consensus of what we like on Les Pauls. So this one, they've omitted the pick guard. We've got 3 humbuckers, which not everybody likes for picking, but they played around with the coils. You got double black, you've got black and white, and then you've got double white, kind of a transition thing going there. But it's got the 57 reissue style knobs and the ABR1, so that likely means if we look on the headstock, yeah, we got the Kluson tuners, all the historic plastics. This is indeed a 57 reissue, meaning once again, we'll have the mahogany top. And it does indeed date to 2024, so it's brand new production. And the pink continues all over the back. If you want to slap a pick guard on it, it wouldn't be that hard. Just get the correct style. You could also put golden pickup covers on it. That wouldn't be too hard. Then you just have an interesting shell pink 57 reissue. I'd be all down for that. But if that's where you fall, you want to modify everything about a brand new guitar just to get a shell pink Gibson, don't worry. Just because it's an uncommon color doesn't mean that they don't exist. Like, for example, one of the least expensive ways to get into one of these was actually the old Chicago Music Exchange exclusive 70s style SG. Right this second, Grinning Elk actually has a Les Paul Jr. custom shop done up in the same hue. I've got to say, I do like this one. It matches the kind of punk rocky vibe. It just needs some stickers thrown onto it. Then you're where you need to be. I also found Guitar Center has the Trini Lopez. But if you want to stay within the custom territory, Eddie's Guitars has this. It looks like it's aged. It's not exactly shell pink. It's a little bit more metallic to it. They called it Heather Mist Poly. But they have marked that one down, and I can kind of understand why. It's certainly not for everyone. But all right, Troglodytes, I think that's enough fun for tonight. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the next one. Take care.